An extract from Cloak and Dagger opening Gambit. The chapter Waterloo. Frog marching Vanguard and Damascus over to the base of Nelson's column, Champagne stopped. Her free hand sported a ring which caressed the base of the monument. There came a deep rumble. Vanguard and Damascus, looking around for the source, comprehended that the base of the column was sliding away, to reveal a black, fathomless interior wide enough to admit both of them. Solitary Drunk took an incredulous peep from around the corner. "Now don't worry about any of this. This is a passageway to your ultimate destination," said Champagne. Vanguard instinctively stood back, adopting a defensive posture, ready to attack. Suddenly, he had never felt so afraid. Images of bodies lying beneath motorway concrete or basement cellars. A despair of starving to death in isolated darkness while never being known again. "Don't worry, I'm joining you." Champagne tried to reassure, brandishing the tranquilizer gun almost nonchalantly. "Oh well, that's some consolation then," joked Vanguard. Damascus stepped back, indicating she go first. "After you." Champagne nudged Damascus on with the gun. As he prepared to face the chasm, she gave him a little prod. The actor was swallowed up in the blackness, and an anguished cry diminished in the depths. Solitary Drunk gawked on in amazement as a protesting Vanguard and resolute Champagne followed him in. When the column base started to come together, Solitary Drunk ran to it. His fingers scrabbled for a door, something to bear testimony to what he had just witnessed, but there wasn't even a hairline crack. It was completely sealed. Solitary Drunk held the liquor bottle out in front of him, wagged an admonishing finger at it, and then smashed it against the base of Nelson's column. Propelled headfirst into blackness, Vanguard and Damascus's impromptu second journey accompanied a strange rumbling noise. Damascus was relieved to feel a suction blast behind him, which stopped him falling hard on a metal plastic surface. Still, this didn't take away the sense of claustrophobia, of drowning, unable to breathe, while whisked at some speed through a labyrinth of suction tubes on a stomach-churning helter-skelter ride to God knows where. Damascus vowed never to dispose of another spider down the loo again. The suction tubing veered to the left, then descended sharply down. His apprehension working overtime, Vanguard wondered which rich billionaire could afford a license to set up a ghost train below Nelson's column. Their bodies gathered momentum, and Damascus felt he was going to be sick when Champagne alerted them to the end of the journey. She, by comparison, was practically surfing the waves, because she had done it so many times before. Vanguard overtook Damascus at a point where the suction tubes narrowed and flattened out. They could see something at the end of the tunnel, not a light, one of those checkered motifs. Checkered and patterned with green edging, it came nearer and nearer. He prepared for impact, yet the motif rapidly parted. Vanguard was first out, feeling the cumulative kick of Champagne pushing Damascus out behind him. "Some ride," he said. "Just show me the exit," said Damascus. Champagne orientated herself easily and waited patiently as the two men lurched to their feet. They were in a vast underground garage. It was filled with what seemed every make of four-seater car available. Alfa Romeo, Audi BMW, Chrysler and Jeep, Citroën Fiat, Ford Honda, Hyundai, Jaguar, Lamborghini, Land Rover, Lotus, Mazda, Mercedes-Benz, Mini, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Peugeot, Porsche, Range Rover, Renault, Rover and MGF, Saab, Subaru, Suzuki, Toyota, Vauxhall and Opel, Volkswagen and Volvo. To the right, a checkpoint security hut, occupied by two muscle men in a casual version of the police uniform. Their shirts and shades were of the same checkered motif. Champagne prodded Vanguard and Damascus over to the checkpoint security guards, who scrutinized their clearance pass and ID card. Damascus noted the ubiquitous combination of checker design and green edging as they scanned the barcodes, plus her retina and palm prints. They passed through. Vanguard and Damascus entered the lift with champagne. A high-pitched whisking hum saw the level indicator descend from level 1 to its appointed destination level 10, coupled with an acute feeling of descent. Just how far they were going to go, thought Vanguard. Into the very bowels of the... Vanguard lunged forward and snatched a tranquilizer gun off champagne. "I've a mind to give you a taste of this thing." "I sincerely hope you are," said Damascus. Then, after a suitable pause, "and very disappointed if you don't." Vanguard reckoned he needed it as a bargaining chip, but champagne warned she wasn't nearly important enough, comparing herself to a pawn. Unconvinced, Vanguard stopped the lift on level 5. The lift doors had barely opened as Vanguard seized them further apart. He ran for all he was worth down the corridor. Unfortunately for him, the corridor ended in a balcony. Vanguard turned to see Damascus make to join him, but noted with concern that Champagne did not bother to stop either of them, or raise the alarm. Deciding not to wonder why, Vanguard swung a leg over the balcony. What he saw next took his breath away. As Damascus reached his position, he too inhaled at the sight of 100-foot drop to a checkered square, the walls lined in green, like a maze from this perspective. The square provided a crossroads with several doors on each fork. A multinational team of individuals, dressed in checkered shades, jackets of a different check, and green trousers, went about their business, on foot, taking rides in buggies, or entering lifts. Abstract art on the walls, hedonistic music playing. The overall effect was surreal and futuristic. Whatever the business, Vanguard and Damascus now knew they were inside a vast, self-contained, subterranean organisation, if not mini-civilization. I remember reading that they built these underground offices for VIPs in the event of an emergency. Damascus shook his head in wonder, but nothing on this scale. "I want answers." Vanguard let go of the balcony and looked up to the floor above. If the lift were to be believed, there were 5 floors underground. "Clearly a setup," said Damascus. "I just want to find out who is behind all this," said Vanguard. "If you keep your appointment with the overseer, you will get your answers," promised Champagne. In her office, the woman with the film noir looks, an air of autocratic detachment, pressed her desk intercom. She could see them on the video screen. She could see practically everyone on it. After all, she was the overseer. "Bring them to me." The lift stopped on level 10. A water fountain lay central at the crossroads fork. Champagne led Vanguard and Damascus to the northwest fork. The corridor was wider and manned by muscular male personnel guards. Gareth, 24, heroic, with a heightened sense of his own importance. Matt, 22, blonde boy next door type, albeit with rippling muscles. They were armed with tranquilizer guns in front of double doors marked Director of Operations, the Overseer. They stood to flank Vanguard and Damascus while Champagne input her retina palm prints, general security code, and her code for that particular day. The double doors opened. Champagne signified Vanguard and Damascus entered the office with her. As the personnel guards joined them, replacements took their positions as the double doors closed to.